Yes, I remember that, but not the whole title. Okay, hello, welcome to our TED Talk class. Today we will speak about virtual reality and TED Talk named A Glimpse of the Future Through an Augmented Reality Headset. Is it correct, Teacher Lee?
Perfect.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I don't know where to start. Let's start from the story in the TED Talk. Who can summarize it? The Sons, maybe. Please.
Okay. In this talk, the speaker discussed and he introduced about he introduced his device, new device, and that can be wear on our heads. It's like goggles, the normal goggles, and you can see with that device you can see the augmented technology. You can see virtual things that you can interact with. Yes, and he also demonstrated a live video call, and he talked to his buddy. He made a live call, and he could see him just the way if he was in front of him. So yeah, that was a cool idea, and that's a new technology for him. And he compromised, how do we call it? He convinced the audience that we are not so far away from that technology. Augmented reality is just came in 2016. It's just right in front of us, so you don't have to wait anymore. And yeah, that was the point of that video.
Okay, I see. So, but I have a doubt that this virtual reality was invented in Star Trek. Teacher Lee, was it so?
Star Trek actually did foretell the technology. You may not remember, but Star Trek, one of the Star Trek series had a holographic deck, a hologram deck. And they did their training. It was basically an empty room, and they would walk in there and program the computer, and suddenly it would look like a planet, or there would be enemies attacking them, and they would shoot, and so they did actually use that technology back in the Star Trek episodes.
Right. And I think that virtual reality, or augmented reality, or what's another term for that? Improved reality? No, not improved. Augmented reality, right? Augmented reality. It's a pretty old thing, I think, because in all times our military pilots had this reality in their helmets, in their glasses. So when they need to find a goal, they have some, I don't know word for that, some markers and something like this.
We call it a heads-up display. A HUD.
Heads-up hood.
You can see, you can see numbers and things in front of you.
Right, and you can see goals and their characteristics, and it works despite that you can rotate your head and plane is moving. So it's pretty hard thing, and it's works since, I don't know exactly, but since 60s, I think. So we cannot call this technology very new, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is real. Jet pilots have these heads-up displays where they can see their speed, their altitude, and things like that in front of their eyes while they're also looking outside. Yeah. Pretty cool.
I would like to try, but it looks like we all will have this chance soon with all these Android devices and so on. And Lynn shared a picture in our chat, in our Madruk chat in Telegram, and I bet it's his virtual reality device. Looks kind of artisanal. Is it a word for that? But I believe it works. So let's start from your experience with virtual reality. Have you experienced it or not? Just?
Not yet. I like a lot technology, but I haven't tried those glasses. I don't know what I need to do.
There are many technologies, but let's answer that later. Vasants, have you tried it?
No, I only received a demonstration. The shopkeeper said that, okay, you can do this with this device. Yeah, like you can see things, 360-degree videos with that VR boxes. And so, okay, I said, okay, that's okay, but I don't need it anymore because it's just an one-time experience. It would be nice for him, nice for you, but you can't wear it all the time, and you cannot see all the videos with that device. No, it's just like an occasional entertainment, like visiting a circus, a zoo, like that. You cannot do that again and again, so it will be a boring thing, I think.
Teacher, what about you?
I went into a computer store one time called Best Buy, and they had a set of VR glasses. It was a demonstration set, and I put them on, and it's pretty cool. When I put these glasses on, I was under the ocean, and I could see the ocean, and I could see fish swimming, and I could look like this, and I could see it was one smooth three-dimensional environment. I could look like this and see a shark over here, and look over here and see the fish, and I could look behind me and see something back there, and it was just like you were in the middle of the ocean, and you can look up and see stuff, and you can look down. It was pretty amazing. So it's going to change our lives. What I fear is teenagers are going to become so immersed in this virtual reality gaming that they're going to lose track of real reality. You know how Korean kids starve to death playing games? Imagine this.
Recently, I shared a story about Chinese girl who spent 21 years in computer club.
Yeah, the one that lived on trains and or whatever. Oh, golly.
Lynn, can you speak today? Can you share your experience and tell us about your device? Probably not.
Hello?
Okay.
I
No sound, no sound, man.
Yes. Lynn, Myanmar have to do something with their internet. I don't know what, but I just read in the news that a new cable on the ocean, what's the name for it? Ocean bottom was made for Asia. Maybe it will solve the problem. So, speaking about tricks and virtual reality, if you have any exhibition in your place, about computer games, you can go there, and it definitely will be full of VR devices. You can try many of that. No, Lynn, we can't hear you answering your question. Cannot. And my experience is pretty short. I once tried a very simple device. Very simple device. It's a mask with two Androids inside. You just put two phones inside, and it's screens for you. And I found that it has a big lag. You rotate in the head, but picture is kind of lagging. A small delay, but you can notice it, and it ruins all the impressions. So it's fascinating for the first few seconds. Then you start to notice it, and you cannot get rid of that feeling that it's not real. It's what I wanted to share with you, to ask you a question. When you watch this movie, this TED Talk, doesn't this pictures looks like a cartoon or something? They doesn't seem natural for me. What do you think? I mean, those pictures with a call, with this car or something.
The resolution wasn't great, but maybe because he's trying to show it, on a camera to the audience on a big screen. So probably that's because he was blowing it up on a big screen. It probably had low resolution. Yeah, but it wasn't high quality. I agree.
And it's very interesting because, you know, to see the perfect picture on the TV, we need a full HD or something like this. But in Google Glass or in some virtual reality, it's very low resolution, right? 3000 up to 2000. And it's enough for our eyes. I don't know why, but it's enough. Maybe because it's close or something.
One question. Is it possible to use our mobile phones with these glasses?
There is a project on Kickstarter or something. They just sell software for you Android phones. So you buy 2 phones, you make or buy some, you know, device to hold them between your eyes, and then then you can watch it. So, but how to say it? You need a phone with high performance processor in it. So
I have one.
Okay, so you need one more, and you are ready to go. Lynn, what about now? Can you speak? I'm waiting for story about your glasses.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a Google Cardboard which with my phone to watch some videos in 3D. But it's not very convenient because my head becomes dizzy after some minutes of usage.
Right.
Yeah.
And many people say that this disease is about this delay, what I mentioned. So this delay provokes the dizziness or something like this. Vasans, comment?
Yes, I experienced that before in some GTA game, I think. I don't know what was the reason, but I couldn't look at the screen while I was playing the game. I could not look at the screen for more than 5 minutes. I felt dizzy, and it gave me a feel like a dizziness while you are traveling. So on a bumpy road. So yeah, it might be the resolution, I think. Yeah.
Usually, what about your experience when you tried it? No.
Well, when I tried it, it was normal. I was standing still and just looking around. It wasn't a dynamic environment. But have you ever gone to an IMAX 3D theater where the audience stands in the middle of the room and the whole wall is circular, and it's a movie screen, and there's one movie you can watch. It's a short video clip. You're in a taxi driving through New York very fast, and you see in front of you the street, and you can feel yourself in the taxi driving forward and turning, and you look all around you and you see, you know, buildings going by, and you can look behind you and see the back of the car where you came from. And I've actually gotten dizzy by being in the middle of one of those IMAX movies and watching the car go like this. And after a while, they have bars for you to hold. You stand up, there's bars to hold because people get dizzy sometimes. It's so realistic that you can get dizzy and fall. So you hold these bars so you don't fall. So it can be very realistic. And that was in a, you know, just a cheap, you know, I'm standing here looking at movie screens made me dizzy. So if you've got this thing on your head and in your mind, you're going like this and in a, you know, in an airplane doing loops and rollovers, I could see how you could get dizzy. That's why usually they're laying down in a chair when they're doing VR. That probably prevents you from hurting yourself.
There is a lot of jokes about that. You know, on this exhibition of video games, they always joke with the same manner. When you have a picture in your glasses, like you're going on the rope or something, at that time, how to say it, one man is make an urge to you, and people very scared because make a, it's a lot of joke, and it's it looks like very natural for people. They do believe immediately that they're on the canyon or something. So yes, it's our future perhaps. Gerard?
I love video games, but you know those games where you kill, you play in first person. I get dizzy and I get nausea. Like I was reading inside a car, you know. So I cannot play. I would like to play them, but I can't. So I think with glasses would be the same.
Interesting. But our body is strong, you know. You can adapt to anything with some time. Teacher Lee?
And if you remember the movie Matrix, that was done. They plugged into the Matrix. The Matrix was a virtual reality world. And they laid down in the chair and they connected to it. And their body was motionless and asleep. But in the VR world, they were alive and moving and fighting and doing all kinds of stuff. So that was kind of a forerunner of what's coming in the future. We'll lay down. In fact, there's actually a Bruce Willis movie.
Avatar or something?
Called Supplicant.
Yes.
There's a Bruce Willis movie where in the future you don't go to work. You lay down at your home and you plug in your virtual body, like a robot body, I guess. You go to work in a robot body and do your work, and then it comes home, and then you come back out of your chair and you're back in your home. You don't go to work. You lie at home, and your mind goes into a robot body and it goes to work, and you virtually control it from your home lying on the couch or something. It was kind of a weird plot.
But it doesn't look weird to me. It looks very reasonable because we almost there, you know. For instance, I work from home. I work remotely, but our management you know, like that we communicate to each other, and they force us to use this video chat. And now just imagine that they have this ability of virtual reality. I'm pretty sure they will force us to go to the party, you know, virtual party in the office, just to socialize, to speak with people, to share ideas or something like this. So it will be almost like in the movie.
There's a novel series, a paperback novel science fiction series called The Lost Fleet by author Jack Campbell, and it's about a hero named Jack Black. And he takes over this fleet, and so he's got a fleet of ships. And the way they meet to talk is they have a virtual conference room. Well, they have a real conference room. So he walks into this conference room and he sits down, and these other people log in from their ships and they start appearing at this virtual conference table in front of him. And it can get longer and longer and longer as more people log in. So he's got this long virtual table of people sitting in front of him, and they talk and discuss and everything. And when they all log off, they just start disappearing, and the table gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So it was pretty interesting to have that virtual conference of military captains to discuss their battle coming up.
And actually, I can understand why it can be useful. I found that when you work with people, you kind of need their picture from time to time. You have to see them from sometimes. It's I don't know, maybe because of body language, maybe because of facial expressions, because of mimics. It's faster to deliver your message when you need to. So sometimes when we cannot solve some question by emails for a long time, we just call by video, and suddenly it's easy. I don't know why. Do you have an idea why it's more, how to say it, more saturated by information when you call people with video?
Well, as we know from body language, a simple gesture like I can convey surprise or or strong disagreement, or I'm not sure. We can do all that in an instant with emotion. That if we wait for me to say I want to say something, okay, go ahead and say something. I disagree. It's just so much more efficient to do it by visual a lot of times. One time I was taking a test on a nuclear power plant simulator, and I was the chief. I was the guy in charge, and we were responding to a casualty, and we needed to turn off some large pumps to protect them. And in nuclear, we're supposed to use three-way communications. Reactor operator, turn off pump alpha. Turn off pump alpha. Aye, that is correct. Click. Pump alpha is turned off. I understand pump alpha is turned off. That is correct. Okay. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he went, and I went, and he went, and we got dinged for not using verbal communications, but they understood that we understood and were acknowledging, but it was done by gestures instead of by words.
Gerard, please.
I think the fact of seeing each other in a video conference establish a closer relationship between us. For instance, it's not the same if we're speaking only with audio when we are seeing each other. And imagine if we were able to have a video conference in 3D, in high resolution, like we were almost in the same room. So I think the feeling would be almost like we were in a real room together.
Do you think there will be some benefits of it? If we will have this VR, what kind of benefits we will have?
I know. Being able to have the same relationship, the same feelings that we had if we were in a real place all together. I don't know. Close. Never will be the same, but I think the result will be close to that.
I see. Vasant, please.
Yes, that speaker mentioned about the usage of this device in medical field, like the experts viewing the brain's structure virtually. So yes, some things you cannot do in real life. So it needs a lot of time, or some things are impossible, and something involves a lot of time and life risk moments, because like a nuclear reactor. So you cannot do some experiments in real world. So with that technology, you can do some experiments with the deadly substances. So it helps in that way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I just wonder, can it be better or almost the same, like a physical, participating in the meeting room? And I cannot name the difference. I don't know why it's video. Why video chat? It's not enough. Sometimes I have to go in my office, to speak. I don't know, to speak a sensible conversation. I cannot do that by video chat. I'm not like Microsoft, that fired by robots. Teacher Lee, please.
It's just like recently I had to go to Pittsburgh for a 2-day face-to-face meeting. So me and 2 other people were in the room, but we were doing a conference over the telephone line with no video to a company in India. So was there any real value in me being there in person? I don't know.
I understand. I saw that many times when you arrive to the meeting and then some boss, call you and you think, why should I arrive? Why cannot you call me at home?
Yeah.
It always irritates me. Vasant, on your postal office, do you use some video conference or just phone calls?
Yes. They use only the higher authorities. They use those video conference method, because nowadays we don't use posts to communicate because it needs a lot of time. So they need immediate results for, okay, how much transactions you did today and how much accounts you opened. So what are your revenues today? So for that kind of information, they need an immediate result. So they use it really, but not to me, just some higher official. Yeah.
I have one hypothesis, one idea why video chat sometimes is important. And I think it's because your mimic and your body language is something that's hard to control, as well as your emails. And when I give some unpleasant task, I want to see, my employers, how he reacts to that. And is it too much or not? Because I know if I do that by email, I will have a polite answer, and I will not know what's the real feeling about that. The same with me. When I speaking on Skype with or without video, it's harder for me to say no, for instance, or something like that. So I feel that behavior is different.
Let me tell you a few things about my company, Westinghouse, how we use teleconferencing.
Please.
Normally, we all have Skype on our business environment. So someone can Skype me with a message instantly. I can look at it, respond. This is just text chat. I don't know why, but we never, well, I guess I know why. We never use video because Westinghouse is concerned about industrial espionage. They're worried about people stealing our technology. So our laptop cameras are disabled. Our laptop Bluetooth is disabled. The only wireless we can use is a USB mouse or keyboard. That's it. They're worried about people stealing information over the air or seeing something behind us that might be a customer. I don't know. But we almost never use video in our office-to-office type communications. We just use text chat or telephone. When we have an all-hands meeting, sometimes I have everybody on site meets in this big cafeteria, and the speaker's the CEO, and he's got this huge screen behind him and a microphone, and he talks to everybody at once. But even then, there's offices around the world that are teleconferencing in, watching him on video. And if people can't go to the meeting, they can sit at their work desk, 300 yards away and still watch him on their computer screen. So what is the value of collecting everybody on site in a big room when you still got people that are attending by video conference remotely? To me, it's kind of, I don't know, to me, it's kind of grandiose because most of those people can't speak. I mean, you can say any questions, but if you're one in 500 people, they're not going to be able to answer everyone's questions. So I wonder about the value of these all hands meetings where everybody's got to stop everything they're doing, travel to this one room so they can listen to a guy talk, and then they leave and go back to their desk. I don't know.
I see. It looks like old model of management or something. How traditional things, right? In IT, we use different methodology. One of them is agile. I wrote in our chat. I don't know how to pronounce it correct.
Agile?
Agile. I don't know why, but we pronounce it agile. Maybe, because of it's a slang, professional slang or something like that. So it's a...
Nah, just poor English.
maybe just poor English. And IT...
British
IT English, I think it's IT English. It's quite different because we have many Russians, Indians, Chinese, and no one from Great Britain. So we speak a different language.
Okay.
And this agile has a few points inside, and one of them is your meeting must have 8 people at max, no more. So if it's more than people, it became to be useless. And another thing, you cannot sit during the meeting. We call that stand-up meetings, because if you sit, it can be long. But if you all stay, you will tend to finish it faster. You know?
Okay, good point.
So yes, and in Agile we have these stand-up meetings every morning. You know, every morning you all what you need 8 people, usually up to 8 people. It's your team, and all what you need to say it's what you made what you made tomorrow, and what is your plan for today. That's all. So and it works. It's pretty good, you know. So I cannot remember when I was on big meeting with or without technology. Wasans, do you have some meetings, real meetings on site for employers?
Yes, they even scheduled such one on coming Wednesday. So from my district, all of the workers has to visit a hall. I think it's a hall, and we have to sit there, and all the superiors will tell everything about the targets and what we had in the past and what will we have in the future. So yeah, that will be a discussion.
I see. Usually, is the superior is the right term for that, for bosses?
Yeah, superiors, yeah, and subordinates.
Subordinates. It seems for me like, you know, with some connotation of slavery.
We do use it for upper management, superiors. Yeah.
Okay. So, Jar, what about you? Do you use video conference on on-site meetings on your job?
No, I started using video conference with learning my English learning.
I see. So, what do you think? If VR conference will be a normal thing, you know, in every house, something normal, would your bosses and your colleagues use it for your job, on your workplace? Some VR meetings, you know, meetings using VR technologies. Because I'm pretty sure our IT industry will use it just to play with the technology. With the technology. Please, Tishley.
If you're familiar with Amazon's Alexa artificial intelligence, you can buy little devices in your home that you can speak to. Alexa, what time is it? Alexa, who's playing football today? Alexa, turn on my lights. You can interface with it just like a computer if you connect it to things in your home. And they've got one thing you can buy, an accessory. It looks like a tablet. They call it the Amazon Show. You can put it on a table, and it's basically it's a virtual phone. You can connect your friends or family to your Alexa network, and you can look at this little tablet screen and say, Alexa, call my daughter. And if she's got the same devices, which is the drawback, she can answer and you'll see her face pop up on your little show here, and you can talk to each other face to face, and then you can hang up. So it's basically a video call built into an Alexa device that you can put in your home.
And it's a pretty modern thing, pretty new one, right? On the last how we call it, show or presentation, they presented it on the last show, and I already read a lot about this device, and they said that it's a rebirth of you know, stationary telephones for home lines. How we call this? Home phones, because landlines. It's a new incarnation of landlines, and it seems like people love that. I don't know why, but the idea that you have some stationer. What's the word for
stationary?
stationary phone in your home, not a mobile one. People like that. I don't know why, but Amazon said that by their investigation, most of the people like the idea and would buy this device and place it in this house and would make some house-to-house conversation. So let's call our grandfather, something like that. I don't know why, but it's interesting somehow.
You've got to remember not to answer the phone if you're naked. You can answer without video.
Especially you are a woman.
There must be some safety button for that. Or
you can answer with video or without video. Just make sure you don't forget.
Well, yes.
But you can answer by speaking, Alexa, answer the phone. And, you don't have to use your hands. So it's easy to screw up. Yeah.
All right. Sure.
It's curious that, we have the technology of video conference with our mobile phones. And we thought in the past that would be something successful or something that people would like to do. But actually, people don't do that too much. So
I agree.
Especially with mobile phone. Maybe with a stationary land phone, maybe they would be more likely to do that.
I agree. It's another interesting thing that video calls were invented, for ages. But statistics show us that people prefer to make a sound calls, not a video calls. And I don't know why. I understand if women don't have some makeup or something like that on the morning, but even through my colleagues, no one likes to call with video. Well, I don't know why. And Skype once shared their statistics, and it was like 99% is calls without video.
Huh.
So it's interesting. So, and it's possible that the same destiny will be with VR, People have VR, but use it for special occasions, for some, parties or for something like this. And it sounds pretty reasonable. I don't want my colleague sitting on the next chair to me. Email is enough.
Can you imagine? I can see the day when we have a virtual wedding where two people are getting married in an empty room and all their people are visiting by virtual reality. And they're all looking at this 3D environment where they're all there talking and dancing, and there's nobody there but the bride and the groom in this empty room.
Yes. But what is the difference?
It's cheaper.
Vasant, please.
I didn't notice when he demonstrated the video call. The other guy, did he wear that goggles too?
Vasant, I don't know exactly, but I don't think it was a real call. I think it was a recorded video of the call, something like this.
Okay. My question is, what would be it like if someone calls you, and will you see him without the helmet or with the helmet? So that was my point. Yeah.
I think in the video he didn't. The friend didn't have glasses on. I don't think. I think it was just his face. It's software, so the software can not show that stuff. It's like my background.
Right.
This is not here.
Augmented
reality here you can't see.
Right. Gerard, please.
I think it depends on the case that we like to do video conference or not. If you need to talk with your wife or close friend that you usually see, you don't need to see him for a moment to say something. But if you are talking with people that they are far away, maybe you don't have the chance to meet them, it makes seeing them more interesting and more appealing.
Well, yes, I agree. Depends on the case. And we already have this what we call telemedicine. It's a medicine over the Skype. Do you have that in your country? No. Well, I know it exists in the US. Because I know a case. One guy told me that he need a recept, and doctor made an appointment on Skype and made the recept by video call. So it was a virtual visit to doctor in the US. And it was strongly prohibited here in Russia, and for many years. So to have a medical treatment, you have to go to the hospital, or doctor have to go to you, and it was illegal to make some prescriptions over the internet. But at this year it's changed. Now it's legal. Now it's possible, and hospital should be licensed for this. For this kind of activity.
There was an incident in China where a guy did that. He called he went to an internet site for medical advice, and it told him to do something, and he did it, and it got worse or something. So he sued that company on the internet for giving him bad advice. Oh,
but I remember exactly what was the case in US. In US, my friend asked for medical marijuana, and there was a special doctor for that. Oh, you look so bleak. Maybe you have a depression. You need some kind of that. There is your prescription. Not a surgery still.
Yeah.
How to pronounce
Marijuana. You're trying to speak it like a Spanish person. We just call it marijuana.
Marijuana.
Okay. Okay, we have some questions from our Padlet, so let's answer a few. What question from Vasants? What are the disadvantages of this device? What we can see? What is the cons of using VR? Except the dizziness.
Too big.
Too big, right? And inconvenient for everyday use, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon Go, right? good one.
If you're walking around and doing that, you can lose track of your surroundings and get hit by a car or walk off a cliff.
Right. Good point. What if there is some, Russian hackers, and they hacked your virtual reality and you go out of your window?
That's a good point. Yeah.
So you need some, what word for that? Safety belt, right? in your chair. Vasant, please.
Okay.
And when you do experiments with that device, you can touch, but you cannot feel that you are touching that thing in front of you. So the feeling, the sense is one of the drawbacks.
Right. And I read that previous generation of this VR, they don't show your hands, and it's ruined all the impression. If you don't see your hands, you can't believe, your mind can't believe that it's real. And I forgot exactly what was about nose, but they said that we always see our nose. Our eyes place it in that place that we always see our nose, but our mind train it to not to notice it. Not to notice it. But in VR, you again have to show this nose. Because in other case, you train it mind, will be confused. Where is the nose that I used to ignore? So there are a lot of interesting challenges in this, making software for this VR. And but as I can see, it's not a very developing department of our industry. Not too many headhunters, not too many, what we call it, when people want to hire you, offers. Not too many job offers to virtual reality, as I can see. So only a few companies do that. I don't know why. Okay, what are now? Please, Gerard.
And sometimes trusting too much to technology can have very fatal results. I remember 2 Italian guys that went to a low neighborhood in Brazil. They call favelas, and because they followed the instruction of Google Maps, so they crossed this neighborhood, and some people shoot them because they thought they were police officers, infiltrated something, you know. So one of them was killed because they followed the instruction of the Google Maps.
Wow.
Sometimes I read some joke. I read some joke, something like, "Don't use your iPhone for for map in some districts. You know, better to have some paper map because if district is bad, you know, your iPhone it's a good what's it called, clue for bandits, for gangsters." Shirley, please.
Disadvantages, I can see several. There wouldn't seem to be too many, but you may have less physical activity, less exercise. If you can sit and just do your hands like this, you're not really using a lot of muscle, you know. If you're talking to someone, the problem is it's software. Anything that's software can be hacked. Maybe the image of Joe that I'm talking to, maybe that's not Joe at all. Maybe someone has hacked his phone and camera, and they look like Joe talking to me, but actually I'm telling my secrets to some stranger. So security is going to be an issue anytime we use software.
Agree. Okay.
Another question. What about internet connection? We would need a very powerful internet connections, I think, to do that.
But I think it's already solved in most of the countries.
Bandwidth, yeah. Bandwidth, yeah.
Optical fiber.
You've got the whole world doing this. That's a lot of video bandwidth, yeah.
Right. Excluding maybe Myanmar and some places of Vietnam. In other places, it seems pretty good. Okay, question from Lin, speaking of Myanmar. Do you think augmented reality will be integrated into our lives in the future? I don't know exactly. It's hard to predict because some technology that looks very promising, you sometimes don't fly, don't become true, don't become popular, and it's hard to predict.
Well, it's got to be cheap, and it's got to be easily accessible.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this technology I read about, I'm going, so what? It's too expensive. It's not going to be cheap enough for 10 years. I don't care because I can't use it for 10 more years. It's, you know, it's got to be, you know, right at your hand, inside your Android phone. You plug in a little thing and plug it into your phone and you're there. It's got to be quickly accessible and it's got to be cheap. You know, and until they do that, I don't think it's going to become part of our lives. It may be part of the, you know, doctors' offices and businesses that have the money, but everyday life, I think we're still years away.
Yes,
it's like Google glasses. Do you remember Google glasses?
Yes.
I don't think it ever took off. When it first came out, it's like, wow, you know, $400 glasses, and you can, but they're dead. I don't know anybody that has Google glasses or uses Google glasses or anything. What happened to it, you know?
You're right. Actually, they closed this project. They closed this project for a while. They said for developing the next version because this version was has too many problems. You know, weak battery, short time of working, and actually it's a toy. You know, toy for few hours, and you play this few hours and that's all.
Yeah.
Another question. Do you think that digital communication can replace physical communication, such as hanging out with friends? Do you ready to quit all these parties for digital? Teacher Lee?
My wife has a friend. She's like 70 years old. So she plays bridge, which is a card game, or bridge, a card game with her friends. So normally these four old people meet, or maybe they meet at a club, and maybe there's 5 tables of people playing this card game bridge in pairs of 4. And they're talking about, actually, instead of everyone traveling there, they're talking about using a computer program on their laptops and actually playing a game of 4 from home, from their homes, on their laptop, where they can speak and hear each other, basically a Google Hangout, but they can play bridge in this virtual environment from their computers at home rather than having to physically go there. So this is like 70-year-old people talking about doing this to play a card game, you know, for social contact without the social contact.
Okay.
So
But
it might work, yeah.
But maybe it's because they have some limiters already, right? Like age, like health, something like that. So for them, it's an opportunity to continue these parties, right? Without traveling. But what if you can travel? would you change your traveling, your drinking wine with friends, with sitting alone, to sitting alone with your computers? Masans? Would you change it?
Yeah, digital communication will never be as same as physical communication, because for an example, for our book club, we usually prefer ebooks, but it will never be the same. I mostly prefer the hard copy, like turning over the pages with my fingers, touching it. But when I use the ebook, I couldn't how do you call it? I couldn't stop at the device for a long time. I forgot to blink, so it gives me the strain, eye strain, I think. Yeah, it is a little hard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We usually play poker with my friends, and once we tried to do that over the internet, and we never repeated that. Because it's no fun, when you can tease all them, do the stupid jokes, and see the reaction, and drink some whiskey. It's over the internet, it doesn't work well, in my opinion. But for TED Talks, it's a pretty good alternative. I would not be able to travel, to meet you guys.
We will need those transportation device that they have on Star Trek.
Hello, Ivan. Beep.
Okay, what is your opinion about people looking at their smartphones while talking to someone? Do you do the same thing? Do you do the same things? Too fast, usually. Why you answer it so fast?
I have an opinion.
Okay. So you don't like it, looks like, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was, quite radical about that. I did not like that, but I got used. I don't know, because nowadays it's hard to get 100% of someone's attention. Many people used to write emails when they speak to you. They are habits now. Write email or speaking in the chat or something like this. What about you, Wasans? How you treat people?
I hope I don't behave like this, but I don't recall. But I would do sometimes. I'm not sure, but if I do, I would only do to the people who don't mind if I look at the device. So mostly I don't to many people, I think. Yeah.
I see. Well, good to know. Maybe I'm guilty. I'm too smartphone addicted. I often have distraction by my phone, and maybe I irritate people. But but I don't have too many communication, you know. So maybe it's not many people affected by my behavior. Usually I communicate with emails. Okay, and we run out of the questions.
I'll say something. I've been with business people, and when their cell phone rings and they're talking to me, and they just reach in their pocket and they turn it off, that makes a positive impression on me, because he's showing me that he's not even going to look at that phone call to see who it is, because he's talking to me and I'm his customer, and I'm more important than some phone call. Now, when they pull it out, they look at it and say, oh, I've got to take this call, excuse me. And they go off. Okay, that makes me feel like I'm not very important. You know, tell that person to call back. I'm talking, call me back, thanks, bye. That also would be okay, you know. Is this an emergency? No, I'm in a conversation, let me call you back. You know, show me some consideration. I'm here now. That person is somewhere else. They can probably call anytime unless it's an emergency.
Well,
so to me, it's a matter of courtesy and consideration. The person that's with you here now should get most of your attention. That's my feeling. Okay.
I agree. Sans, please.
Yes, I do that. I mean, whenever I visit places like a bank or in my head offices, I usually on airplane mode or silent mode, because it's not just about my behavior. If it rings, it might be else's attention too. So it inconvenience there. So I usually put it in a silent mode, and there are some online services too, like this one. So if you can set it with a GPS. You visit this place, your phone will automatically turn the silent mode on. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yes, good trick. Gerard?
I think mobile phones should have a button when we hang a call because we are busy. So that said, you know, I'm busy, I call you later, you know, because sometimes we can give a bad impression to the other side because, okay, this guy hung the phone and doesn't want to talk with me, but sometimes, most of the time, it's because of a good reason. It would be nice that someone thought that.
I see.
My phone does that. If my phone rings, I can reach in and push any button on it, and it hangs up.
Yes, I know, but I would like something that the other part of the call or on the other side would knew that there is a good reason, you know, like okay, I'm busy, or a message, something that said.
Okay, all right.
Well, you are too polite, guys. It's too complicated. I'm not answering because I'm busy. That's all. I'm not have to answer. You know, when you call me. So it's my deal. It's my way. But I can remember once in many years ago when mobile phones were a rare case. You know, not many people have them. We have a meeting and. There were like 1,000 people in the meeting, and it was a big one. And a few people sit on the chair, you know, our bosses. And one of them got the call, and he answered and told for 10 minutes. It was, I have no idea how it's possible. It's awful. Yes. And another comment, you know, how we call them, clerks in Russian government buildings, so irritated by these phones, you know, that's they always call that in many buildings we have some GSM silencer. It's a device that prevent phone communicates. You know how we call that?
That jamming device.
Jamming device. Yes. In many official buildings we have this device, so you don't need, you know, any services for to turn off your phone. You get in and it's already jammed. And we use the same devices in schools now. So during the exams. So so children don't forget to put their phones in lockers just because it's useless. You can't use it inside school.
Or they can't use their phone to cheat.
Right. That was the idea.
Yeah.
So if you're irritated by that, you can buy, in China, a small jamming device. They are really small. They are powerful. You can put in your pocket.
That would be good. Someone's yapping on the phone on the bus, making a lot of noise.
Right.
You just walk by them and their call drops.
Right.
That would be great. Oh, I like that.
And when you're talking to someone, there is no calls. Not for you, not for him.
I like that.
And our time is over. Thank you very much for coming. As usual, brilliant conversation. And we will have some vacation for a few weeks. Take note, please. And no movie club tomorrow. I'm sorry, I will be in plane. So thank you again, and bye-bye.
Have a nice trip. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you.